Good morning, and thank you for coming. We're here today to talk about different ways that owners will exit their business. It's inevitable that all owners will exit their business at some point in time, either horizontally or vertically. What we're here today to talk about are different options for exiting your business vertically. Much better for you and for your family. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is a direct sale of your business. A direct sale is the simplest form of sale. It gives you the quickest walk away from the business, takes less time, has a predictable outcome. You know how long it's going to take typically, and you know what you're going to get for income in the process of doing it. The largest potential pool of buyers relates to a direct sale. I like to look at a pool of buyers as being a funnel. You start at the top of the funnel with a lot of buyers. And as the kind of business you're selling narrows that funnel, the size of the business, the geographic territory keeps narrowing down the funnel of potential buyers. So the higher up in the funnel we are, the more potential prospects we have and the more likely we are to sell the business. So we're also going to talk about recaps. And a recap of a business is where you sell part of the business today and part of the business at some future date. Recaps are often used to help companies move time. Synergistic buyers also do recaps. Some of the benefits of a recap is that you're maximizing the value of the business that you are selling. You're maximizing it because you're selling it today, a portion of it, for today's value, but then you have the opportunity to build the business. You bring additional talent, you bring in additional money, you have additional time in the market. 3 to 5 years later, you're selling the other portion of your business, and that's going to be at a higher value. It's been our experience that in some cases, we will sell 70% of a business today. 5 years later, the 30% we sell sells for more money than the initial 70% we sold the business for to begin with. Part of growing a business is capital. As owners, we build businesses, we borrow money, and it comes time to grow the business, we have to borrow more money, and banks require personal guarantees. If you have a recap and you bring in a financial partner, they're going to provide the money, and you're going to defer the risk. You're not going to have to sign a personal guarantee. Also in a recap, bringing in a professional operator, they're going to add additional talent to your organization that will help you grow. So we look at what may be the deficiencies in your business, what may be weaknesses. Finding the right buyer that can fulfill that, can bring the talent into the situation with you, can also help you grow and be more profitable. You're sharing the management burden. One of the problems of owning a business is that you're the only person waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning trying to solve problems. You've got a partner in the business, they're up at 3 o'clock in the morning also helping you come up with solutions to those problems rather. There's also synergistic benefits of being involved with a larger organization. I know personally in my firm, Fox Fin has been selling businesses in this market for 23 years. A couple of years ago, we combined our firm with 3 others. We created a national firm. We now have offices across the United States. So we're able to share resources. We're able to work together, able to draw on talent that we didn't have individually. I know my office collectively with our group, we spend over $100,000 a year on data and information that I couldn't do on my own. So being part of a larger organization brings synergies to the process that makes my business stronger. So next I'd like to talk about the process of selling a business. The process of selling a business is very similar, whether it is a recap or whether it's a direct sale, but there are some differences. So let's talk about the process first to begin with in general. The first thing we have to do is assess your company. And that's taking a serious look in the mirror and being honest with yourself. You know, a lot of times I ask people where the shortcomings of their company are, and they tell me, oh, they have none. They're not being realistic. As an outside party, we are going to be brutally honest, and we're going to tell you where there are shortcomings in your business, at least as viewed through a buyer's eyes. And viewed through a buyer's eyes is how you have to look at your business, because the buyer is writing the check. You also need to look at the market that you're selling into. And what is the market for your business that day? What are the financial markets? What's the cost of capital? How active is the market? What's going on in your industry? What competitors are there? So doing a deep dive, not only into your business, but into the market is going to give you knowledge to go forward. Determining the best timing for selling your business is part of the sale process that we have to do. You always want to sell your business when it's going up, when there's opportunity in the future. Buyers buy for future opportunity. But if your business is on a decline, buyers are going to be very negative. They're going to be skeptical. They're going to say, where's the bottom? And when they don't know where the bottom is, they're going to devalue your business because of that risk. So once we've assessed the market, we've assessed your business, now we have to package your business. We have to tell the story of your business. And this is a process that we could spend 100 hours on, putting together a proper story and telling it in a way a buyer wants to see that story. Telling that story that will show your business in the best light. And that's including the financials. It's including who your customers are. It's not necessarily by name, but what are your markets? We've got to put together a package that makes that business so attractive the buyer just is dying to buy it. So now we've got our package together. The next step in the process is to do research and find qualified buyers and target those buyers. Now, the days of running an ad to find a buyer are over, unless you're selling an automobile. We want to look at who is going to be the best synergistic buyer for your business, because synergistic buyers are going to pay more money. So we're going to do extensive research on a national basis to determine who that buyer is. Once we've put together our target list, we're going to market to those buyers. And marketing to those buyers is a very tricky thing, and that we want to go after buyers and we want to do it in a confidential manner. We want to ask a potential buyer, are you interested in growing through acquisition? If you are, how would you pay for the company? How would you value it? We need to screen and qualify that buyer ahead of time. So we are going to proactively go after those buyers in the way we market your company. We do that with confidential business profiles. Give them enough to whet their appetite. Give them enough to get them agreed to sign a confidentiality agreement. And then after being screened, we go forward with the marketing process. Once we've done that marketing, once we've got a group of buyers interested, we want to maximize the offer. We maximize an offer by getting multiple buyers. In our office, we have a saying, one buyer is no buyer. We create a bidding war. We create competition between buyers. And that's how we maximize the offer. Once we have the offer maximized, we have to close the deal. Close the deal is going through extensive due diligence. My colleagues here are going to talk about the legal and accounting aspects of due diligence, but I can tell you getting a deal started is easy. Getting it closed is difficult. There's lots of data. The more prepared we are up front before we go to market, the easier the closing is. Then finally, when we've gone through due diligence, we've closed the transaction, now we have to look at transition. We want to make sure that this new owner is successful. As the owner of the business, you know more about that business than anybody. You want to help that new buyer be successful in your business and continue and grow and prosper. So that transition, depending on the buyer's experience, background, and complexity of your business, could vary drastically in time. It may be a couple of months and it may be a couple of years. So depending on what you have for management structure and support within your organization is going to have a substantial difference in what that transition time is. So that's the process in general. Now I'd like to be more specific. The process for selling, going through the sale of a business when you have a direct sale is a little bit easier. First, we're trying to maximize value, so we're trying to get as many buyers as we can. As I said, we're trying to create a bidding war. In our firm, in IBG Fox Fin, we actively solicit buyers through our research, through our confidentiality agreements. Once a confidentiality agreement is signed, we screen them. We don't just give them information. We try and determine if they have the financial ability, if they're a good fit for the business. And after identifying that buyer and getting an offer from them, we try and maximize that offer. And maximizing an offer isn't necessarily best price. Offers are terms and conditions that go along with the transaction. So what's going to be the best deal for you? It isn't always the best dollar amount. Now the process in a recap is a little bit different. We're not trying to get every single buyer in the world we can. We're trying to find the best fit buyer, because this is going to be a partner. When you're taking a partner on in a business, that's like marrying somebody. You better be sure that you like them, you feel comfortable with them. So going through that part of the process in a recap, we want to make sure that you have matching personalities, matching philosophies, matching styles of business. The way you operate is complementary. You want to make sure your interests are aligned. And typically in a recap, interests are aligned because you both want the same thing. You want to have maximum value when you get the second bite at the apple, when you get the second part of the sale. So in summary, if you want to exit your way, and that's what we want, you have to first start out by selecting what type of transaction you want to have. Do you want to have a direct sale? Do you want to have a recap? You need to start preparing for the sale of your business way in advance. Ideally, we like to talk with people 2 to 3 years before they're ready, before they want a sale transaction to happen, so that you can prepare for that transaction, so that you can maximize the value and you know what you're doing. You've got to make your company desirable in the eyes of a buyer. And that's part of what we're going to do by working in advance, is to make that company desirable to the buyer. Then you want to select a qualified team of experts. This process takes a team effort. Sometimes people think they can sell a business themselves, but it's a full-time job. Some people can, but it's the only time in their life they're going to sell the biggest asset they have. Bring in experts to guide you through the process who've done this before. Then consider the timing in your life and timing in the market. The worst time to sell a business is when you have to. As I said before, sell it when it's going up from your business standpoint. Sell when the timing in the market is best. And finally, particularly in a direct sale or even in a recap, have multiple options. Try and get a group of people competing for your business. That way you will maximize your return and exit in the way that you want. Thank you.